I don't think there's anything ever been as fast changing as this new chat AI space. It's very, very interesting. So let me know, guys, if you can share, if you can see the screen that says Flourish Workshop Series. Good, yay, thank you very much. So weirdly though, I can't see. Oh, yep, I can see you guys too, which is nice. All right, so welcome to the Flourish Workshop Series. This is our second this year in this new series, which is presented by Hello Media and Positive Passionate Businesswoman. And it's all about helping you guys to grow, bloom, and flourish in your businesses. And today's topic is how to get the most out of AI, so artificial intelligence, the good, the bad, and the ugly of ChatGPT. And you should also know that there's more than obviously just ChatGPT. There are other content, AI content generators too. Some of you might have heard of Jasper, for example. I know that I'm getting it in my Facebook and Instagram ads constantly. They're showing me all sorts of things. It's really, I always find that really interesting reading the comments of what people are saying with those kind of ads. It's pretty fascinating what's coming out of there. So yeah, let me know if you've come across any of them before and if you've tried any of them out. Let me see who we've got here. We've got Joe, who's a social media specialist for the Cellar Bottle Shops. The most challenging part of the role is keeping up to date. Yes, Joe, totally agree with you on that one. It is so full on. And I'm off to Social Media Marketing World in 2 weeks, which I'm super pumped about, to get the very latest in everything that's going on, which is super exciting. Sue Walker says, for people from all walks of life who value great quality, a wide selection and exceptional service, we offer a comprehensive choice of both Australian and international brands, unlike the clothing you'll find in chain stores. Love that introduction. And my most challenging part is time. Yes, that is another big, fat, tricky one. We've got Vanamala here from Face Yoga Australia to lift your face 100% natural, beautiful. My biggest challenge is still spending too much time for marketing. We have Pavla, runs an education agency for international students in Australia. Biggest challenge is, GA4, Google Analytics 4. That's a big one. I'm not sure if I need to do anything now. Yes, you do. Everybody needs to switch it over, Pavla. So it's quite a big task. So I'm going to share a little bit about that in the Hello Media Facebook group and in the Positive Passionate Businesswoman's Facebook group. And then maybe we'll run a session on what and how and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's a really big one. If you haven't heard of GA4, guys, and what's coming, you're definitely going to need to jump on that. We have Annabella, florist, and have an online store selling dried and preserved flower arrangements. Marketing and content creation is my main challenge. Annabella, yes, because the interesting thing, isn't it, about businesses these days is that you start a business for whatever reason it is. Maybe it's because you're passionate about something and you always knew you wanted to do that as a business. Or maybe because you had a hobby that suddenly grew and you thought, oh, I could turn that into a business. Or maybe you bought a business, or whatever the reason for being in business, you did it because there was something that you really enjoyed doing about it. That didn't mean that you wanted to become the salesperson, the customer service person, the accountant, the bookkeeper, the packer, the dispatcher, the marketer, the video maker, all of the things that come along with businesses these days, particularly online. So I know it is really, really tough. And one of the things I'm a big believer in is outsourcing, but I don't believe that you should outsource till you actually have an understanding and a grip on what it is, because I did it years and years and years ago. I outsourced my bookkeeping, got myself into a whole world of pickle, and then realized, okay, I've got to bring it in-house, figure it out. I had a whole lot of training around it, and then I was able to outsource it because then I totally understood what it was I was needing to expect in a bookkeeper, etc. So I think the same goes with your digital marketing things. It's fine to be able to outsource it, but you really, really need to know what's going on there so that you know what it is that you're asking people to do and what to expect from people too. Great. We have Brenda here from Handicrafts and Curtains, made to measure curtains and blinds at a retail shop selling craft supplies. Old-fashioned haberdashery shop. Love it. Biggest hurdle is keeping up with it all. Absolutely. I don't think there's another industry out there that is changing so fast. It's absolutely crazy. But exciting too at the same time. I find that keeps my brain going and firing all the time, and it definitely lights me up finding out what's new. This morning I put a post in the Hello Media Facebook group and the Positive Passionate Businesswoman Facebook group. So hopefully you saw one of those posts, which is about something phenomenal that's happening, that's just rolled out last night, actually. So Mark Zuckerberg announced that for Australia and New Zealand, as of this week, we'll be able to sign up to a paid subscription plan for Facebook and Instagram to get support, to get a blue tick badge, to get all kinds of different benefits, which will be very, very interesting. There'll definitely be more reach. Unfortunately, at the moment, it's only for personal, not for business, which is kind of interesting. And it's also really interesting that it's for one account only. So you pay up just for Facebook or just for Instagram. So obviously it's in its beta testing phase. It's going to change a lot as time goes on. But I've said for a long time that I'd be happy to pay, excuse me, if it meant I could get some good support. Because when something goes wrong with your Facebook or your Instagram, or you get blocked from something or whatever, you're really out on your own there. There's not one anybody at Meta. Their customer service is renowned for being shocking. So I think this will be an interesting thing. It certainly isn't cheap though, so that's also going to be intriguing to watch how that goes on. So let me know in the chat, is there anybody in here that thinks that they will sign up for that, for example, and try out that new paid subscription? I'll definitely try it out. I'm not sure that I'll necessarily stay with it, but I'm always keen to try out something like that that's new, that Meta are offering. In the Facebook groups on that post, I think just from memory, I think it's $29.99 a month, Vanamala. And it's cheaper though. I can't remember. One of my team can hopefully share that in the chat. It's cheaper if you sign up on a desktop than if you sign up on a phone. And the reason for that is because they have to pay 30% each month as an ongoing thing to the Apple Store, for example, and to the Google Play Store. So if you've done it through your phone, it's going to be a whole lot more expensive than if you do it on your desktop. But you will be able to use it over both your support benefits, etc. It's going to be really, really, really interesting to see how it all rolls out, though. But I'm thrilled that Australia and New Zealand get to try it out first, which is exciting. Yes, there's definitely going to be benefits, like in terms of your own security with it and how you can get help with that too, Janine, which is a really good thing. But it is very interesting, isn't it, that because they're offering such terrible customer service for so long, and so many things have been so challenging, like people, losing their accounts or whatever, and you just can't get any help. So now, you're going to be able to pay to get that help, we hope. Although there are lots of buzz going on through the night, is that help going to be more AI chat or is it actually going to be real people? So interesting that, isn't it? Especially when we're talking about AI today. So let's get stuck in. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Kylie and I am the founder and owner of Hello Media, and also the founder of Positive Passionate Businesswoman, which is all about helping women, or both of them are actually all about helping not just women, but humans in general who are business owners and marketers to just really get better at what they do, help them stand out, grow their business and soar. So I work with clients through one-on-one coaching, group coaching, masterclasses and workshops. For Positive Passionate Businesswoman, we have, 3 different types of memberships, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on because that's quite relevant to a fair bit of what we'll talk about soon as well, to do with your SEO. One thing I always like to tell people about, if you don't already know about Bite Size Business Live podcast. So one thing that's really important, I know I keep saying one thing, there's so many things, this is just one of the things that's so important, is thinking about how you can repurpose your content. Now, a number of people said in the chat that their biggest challenge with their business is, producing content, etc., and finding the time to do it. So what I do with my colleague Jenny from Elephant in the Room Consulting is we do a thing called a bite-sized business. It's a live video podcast, and it happens on a Friday morning for 30 minutes. The only thing that we pre-prepare is the topic. That's it. Aside from that, it's unscripted. We jump on Zoom for half an hour and we go live into our groups and onto our pages, also onto YouTube. From that, we have recorded it. We then download it from the cloud and we use Otter to transcribe it. From Otter, then and Otter is free. We can give you that link in the chat. We then turn that transcription into a blog post. So that's content number one. From that, we can then use it for many different social media posts. And we can also use it for content for our newsletter. So that's social media posts, that's number two. And then email marketing, that's number three. Then what we can do is we then upload that. We put an intro and an outro onto that video. We upload it onto YouTube, so that's another spot that it's gone. That's number four. And we add the keywords and the caption and all that kind of stuff. And then we put it up through Anchor, which is also free. And it's the podcast platform that then distributes it to all the different places that you like to listen to your podcast. So that one bit of half-hour content becomes so many different things that we can use, whether it be just voice or video or text. So many different things. So I put it out there to you guys. What can you do that is doesn't have to be necessarily a live podcast. It could be anything like that, though, that you can then repurpose over and over and over in many ways to keep using that content. On Friday, Jenny wasn't able to join me, and so I invited someone who I just found by Googling privacy policies on Australian websites. And she came up with this I found her because she had this incredible website, and you could buy, for example, templates for her privacy policies. So she's a solicitor and with just some amazing stuff. So I reached out to her and said, would you like to come on? So I really encourage you to go and listen to that, because we talked a lot about what you do, what you're allowed to do with the email addresses that you're collecting through, for your email database, etc., what you need to put in your privacy policy on your website, and all those kinds of bits and pieces. So definitely take a little look at that. You can listen to it on your favorite podcast platform or on YouTube, wherever you want to. We can give you the link to the website, and then you can find the different places through that. But one thing is, if you've got a topic that you'd really like to Jenny and I to nut out for you, just let us know. Just send us a message or even put it in the chat, because we just have a different topic every week, and it's always something to do with business. Not always digital marketing, but always something to do with business. Yes, there's a little mention here that I'm a member of the Social Media Marketing Society. And also I'm all about keeping current, and that's why in 2 weeks' time, I'm off to San Diego for Social Media Marketing World, where over 7,000 marketers all get together from all over the world to upskill, learn, network, all the good kind of stuff. And I'm super excited and pumped for that. So let's move straight along to tell you that just by being here today, you're in with an opportunity to win a free one-on-one with me, where we can talk about anything to do with your business. We can do an audit on your website or your socials. We can look at your SEO, for example. We could look at your blogs. I could teach you how to do video or anything you want during that hour. So if you want to be in to win that, just pop a little, maybe you want to pop an emoji in the chat this time, now that we're actually able to do it, which is very exciting. I'm just going to show you how. You just go into the chat and you can go, here you go. Here's one in Sunny's. So you just click on that little emoji and it's in. So if you'd like to be in that to win, we're going to draw that at the end. We will spin this wheel and see who is the winner of a one-on-one session with me. Yay, 2 emojis even. Very good. All right, so if you're ready to make 2023 your best year yet, you'll need a simplified, planned, and researched strategy. And this, what we're about to do today, is just one tiny bit of that strategy. So it's all about learning how to get the most out of AI, and that's particularly the right way, because you don't want to just be jumping on it, grabbing the text and running with it, because that is not going to do you any favors whatsoever. So in today's workshop, we're going to look at what AI is all about, and ChatGPT in particular, and how it all came about, the pros and the cons. That is so important, because yes, there's some amazing, great stuff, but there's definitely some bits that are not good at all. We're going to also really deep dive into Google, and can Google detect the content that you're putting out there, and also a few other little bits about Google as well. And then number 4 is how to use ChatGPT for your business, and particularly for your Google business profile, and a bunch of other top tips and bonuses along the way as we go. So this topic number 4 is a really exciting one. I've been really getting stuck into learning about the all kinds of things and ways that we can use it, which is really exciting. And we're writing a really big full-day masterclass on it too, which will be coming up soon. So first of all, though, let's get stuck into what is AI, so artificial intelligence, and ChatGPT, and how did it come about. So let me know in the chat, put an emoji in there if you have heard about AI in general, and if you've heard about ChatGPT. And in fact, maybe give me a thumbs down emoji if you haven't heard of it before and you don't know what it's all about. I'm pretty positive, though, that everybody in here today will have heard about it in some way, because it has been everywhere, on the news, on the everything. So this is an AI bot. It's an artificial intelligence robot. So AI is the simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think like humans and mimic their actions. So applications of AI in businesses include things like voice to text features, Alexa, Siri. We've got the Hey Google at home. There's Cortana. There's automated responders, like on Messenger. You can have that incorporated into your website, so that can be a little help chat on there. There's also online customer support, process automation, smart devices that adjust to behavior, and product recommendations and purchase predictions. So Janine, that's done through Giphy. So yeah, Vanamala's heard about AI, but not about chat. So for quite a few years, we've been teaching masterclasses on chatbot, and installing a chatbot on or using it through Instagram and all kinds of things. But this has just taken it to a whole new level. So let me know, at home or at work, are you using anything yourself, like Alexa, for example, or even on your phone? Do you use Siri? So let me know in the chat if there's anything that you're currently using that is a way for you to be using, doing something that is AI generated. It would be very interesting to know what it is that you're trying out. None for Annabella. The Google, Hey Google at my house is a big hit, because my husband will say it late at night. Hey Google, what's the weather overnight? What's the temperature overnight in Bangalore? And then Google will say, tonight it will be 17 degrees. And then he'll know what, do we need an extra blanket? What's required? So anyway, that's quite helpful. Vanamala says, in Zero, the AI is learning very quick, making my work faster. That is a good thing, surely. So also, there's a subset of artificial intelligence, which is called machine learning, so ML. So from AI, then there is ML. And that is what trains computer programs with data so that it can act without being assisted by humans. And you can use that in text, images, or video. And an example of a machine learning, also ML AI, is ChatGPT. So we're going to talk more about ChatGPT, what it can do for your business, and what are its pros and cons. Janine says, Siri sometimes talks to me and sometimes not. That's cute. So ChatGPT was trained on massive amounts of data about code and about information from the internet. And a lot of its information came from sources like Reddit discussions. That's what's really helped ChatGPT learn dialogue and attain a human style of responding. You can ask ChatGPT to be funny. You can ask it to write you cheeky stuff. There's all kinds of different ones. You can ask it to give you a poem that rhymes. So it's not just about giving you really serious stuff. You can really get it to do some pretty fun stuff there. So one of the things that what people say is that ChatGPT shouldn't be trusted about when it comes to writing content for your business is because basically all it's doing is copying answers from other people on the internet, like Reddit, for example. So we'll talk a bit more about that soon. But it does have a remarkable ability to interact in conversational dialogue form and provide responses. So it came about because Elon Musk resigned from the board of directors in 2018 to avoid any potential future conflict with Tesla, which was his top concern at the time, but he is still a donator to the business or an investor in the business. Their goal is to promote and develop a friendly AI in a way that benefits humanity as a whole. It'll be very interesting to see all that go. So it was developed by OpenAI in November 2022. And but it wasn't developed in November 2022. It became available to the public in 2022, but it has been behind the scenes being developed for a very, very long time. So what can it do? It can do heaps of things. So for example, it can generate human-like responses in text format. It can answer questions on a huge wide range of topics. It can generate creative writing. And like I mentioned, it can be things like humorous stuff or poems, or you could ask for it to be in a very gentle tone or a very corporate tone or whatever you like. It can translate text from one language to another. That could be extremely useful for some of you. It can condense and summarize lengthy text. It can identify and extract named entities. So examples of named entities are first and last names, geographic locations, ages, addresses, phone numbers, companies, and addresses, for example. And it can suggest additional words or sentences, and it can generate a dialogue based on the context provided by the user, and so much more than that. So we're delving into it because we like to keep you abreast of everything that can affect your business for both good and for bad. And because whether we like it or not, we know that it's here to stay and it's only going to get bigger and bigger. Well, the stuff that I'm hearing out there about where it's headed is just phenomenal. So let's take a little look at the pros and the cons of it. So really we want to know is it good news or is it bad news? So let's really dive into that because that's definitely of concern, the bits that are the bad bits. However, let's talk about the good things first. So it can respond to a variety of questions with smart and properly cited text. It can save you time, and my goodness, it really can save you time. I'm going to give you a little example. So if you want to, let's just say that you are Janine Jones. And so Janine says, gosh, I'm just really not feeling it today. I'm really struggling. My creative juices are not flowing. So, but I've really got to get a blog out today. So Janine could jump into ChatGPT and she could type into ChatGPT and say, give me an outline for a blog post, including bullet points and topic headings for a blog about, Janine, what's our blog going to be about? How you can repurpose content across all of your platforms. So ChatGPT will come back with the topic list, like chapters for your blog. It will come back with the bullet points. Then what you could go and do is take each one of those topic headings and then say, summarize this topic heading for me now. And then you keep going through, so you don't keep starting a new chat. You'll stay with the same chat and keep asking it for more and more and more content and keep delving into it. One thing to remember is that if you're very generic, so if we started off just by saying, please write me a blog about repurposing content, then Janine and I would get the same content given back to us because would ask for the same thing. However, if you ask for pieces of the blog at a time, so give me bullet point ideas, give me a summary, give me 3 things that you would write within that blog post, for example, and then you deep dive into it. It's a far, far, far better way to go towards getting you something that is more unique for you that not everybody would be getting. So that's something really important to think about. But that, for example, Janine is then not going to go and take that blog and reproduce it on her website. What she then needs to do is actually then go and rework that blog. But how it has saved her time is she wasn't feeling it that day. And so it was a struggle. And so therefore, she's got the outline of a blog that then she can go and write herself. So that has been a massive time saver. Keep in mind, though, that I have said that she will rework that text. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in the cons. But in terms of the pro, it can answer questions in a really detailed way. It also answers questions in real time. You don't have to submit it and wait for a day or an hour for it to come back. It's boom, just like that. And it's easy to use. And for now, it's free. You can sign up to the pro version, which I have, and I've been having a little play around with that. But for right now, the free version is great and it's fine. So well and truly good to get stuck into. So this is what it looks like. So it's giving you examples here of what you can type in. It's giving you its capabilities. So, for example, remembers what users said earlier in the conversation, allows user to provide follow-up corrections, trained to decline inappropriate requests. So there's quite a few topics that it actually will not share any information on, which is interesting. But it does have limitations. So it does tell you right here, it may occasionally generate incorrect information, may occasionally produce harmful instructions or biased content, and limited knowledge of the world and events after 2021. So it's pretty transparent right there, telling you exactly what it can't do, which I think is really interesting. And just underneath this, it says type your question here, and that's how you get started with a new chat. So to use it, all you need to do is enter a question or a word or a phrase into the chat box and hit enter. It then responds to you with answers to your questions, gives you recommendations, etc. But let's now dive into what's the cons of using ChatGPT before you decide how you want to use it for your business. So the cons are it is bias. So like all machine learning models, ChatGPT is trained on the data that it was given, which can reflect and amplify existing biases in the data. So keep that one in mind for sure. It has limitations in understanding. So despite its ability to understand natural language, ChatGPT is still a machine, and it may not always fully comprehend the nuances and context of human language. That's a really important one too. But I definitely encourage you to play around with it and test out its limitations because it is quite interesting. It lacks context. So, for example, ChatGPT can struggle with understanding the context of a conversation or the overall situation in which it's being used, leading to incorrect or inappropriate responses. It still needs human oversight. So while ChatGPT is capable of generating human-like responses, no, I said human-like, not human, it's still not capable of truly understanding human emotions or intent, and therefore it may need real humans to go and check the ethical and appropriate usage of what you're writing. So when I talk, and I haven't said this today yet, but I've said it many times in the last few weeks, use it as a tool. Don't use it and take it and then go and reproduce it. Definitely think of it as a tool for ideas, and then you're going to go and work with it from there. So ethical considerations, so the potential uses and implications of large language models like ChatGPT raise a number of ethical and societal questions that need to be really carefully considered. So even just hearing about the pros and cons, is that making you feel excited about trying it out or more concerned about trying it out? Let me know in the chat if you're feeling like, yeah, it's something that you could go into and have a little play with. So those cons too, I'm telling you now, did not come from me doing a whole bunch of research. Yes, of course I have done that, but it actually comes from ChatGPT itself, directly sitting there from its desktop app. It tells you all of these things. So I'm fascinated that it's not trying to pretend that it is something that it's not. It's absolutely transparent about exactly what it's doing there, which I find to be really, really interesting. So I mentioned in our last Flourish workshop for those of you that attended. And ChatGPT was really, really, really full on at that moment with just having, recently launched. So this is a friend of mine that has put out this article. She is a lecturer at university, and she put out this amazing article. We can share it with you in the chat if you'd like to go and have a full read of it. And that says over 54 summer postgraduate assessments that Sally marked, 10 of them had significant detectable bot assistance. So the highest rate in the 5 years that she's used software to detect bots. So the first thing we really want to think about is, did you know that there's actually software out there that does detect bots? So hopefully if you're studying, you won't be using that, because that'll be a bit of an issue, clearly. But also, those bots are on Google. They're on all kinds of places. They're on Instagram, for example. So if you've been buying likes, or if you signed up to one of those services that will go out and engage on your accounts for you to help you grow your Instagram, that's all done by bots. All of that is being monitored and looked at. So keep in mind, you've got to be so incredibly careful how you use bot-generated content. So she says here about ChatGPT that ChatGPT is the latest viral chatbot software. It's caused internal alarm for its ability to evade plagiarism detection tools. So the software that Sally uses detects a range of bot assistants, including software that helps improve AI-generated text. So obviously, it's only going to be a matter of a very short amount of time before ChatGPT is able to be seen as well. So obviously, that's what's going to happen always when there's new stuff. So there's been some really interesting things that have come out of it that people are saying. So one of them is, for example, I should clarify that the ChatGPT answers provide a good general overview of the offence, but the answers are not an accurate description of the law in South Australia. Reference to authority is obviously also missing. So that's something definitely to think about, is that it's not giving you all of the information, just the information that you directly asked for. This guy here says that he's tried a few searches with the chatbot and also found it had misidentified information in multiple results. Here's a few more things that people have said. So ChatGPT can write songs, poetry, write code, essays, content. The key, though, is to ask the right questions and use your human brain to edit and improve. It is just a tool. And then this one here sounds a lot like we do with the information that we extract from our environment. What most people are interested in can be calculated. However, our ability to curtail a story to our common way of sensing and reacting to our environment allow the audience to relate, keeping them engaged. That's the really important piece there, isn't it? Is that it's about people that are going to do the reading of it, not other bots. We're writing for people. We're not writing for other bots. So keep that in mind, that while you might want the bots to help you with the writing, you've then got to absolutely personalize it as well. So here we go. I've been using AI to assist in writing blog posts for a minute now, and I find the content is hollow, generic, somewhat repetitive. However, if you use it and you keep deep diving into, rather than asking it to write you that whole blog, for example, ask it to write you and ideas for topics within that blog post, and then deep dive into each one of those topics. It's a really great way to use it. And then this one here, which is really, really important. You should know that search engines like Google use AI scanners to check for plagiarism and automated writing. The best way to make use of these AI tools is to sit back and let the technology handle the grunt work while you repurpose the content in your own unique way. So note those words: repurpose the content in your own unique ways. So Google can detect if something is AI generated by searching for patterns and inconsistencies in writing style, as well as how good the quality of the content is. So remember when I said that, let's just say Janine and I had asked ChatGPT for the same thing. Let's say we both said, please write us a blog post about repurposing your content. And then we have asked the same questions, therefore we get the same answer back, which is very, very different to Google, when you will all depend on what you're going to get, depending on what your searches before have been. So, but we'll talk a little bit more about Google shortly. So Google will penalize you for AI-generated content. And Google's search advocate, John Mueller, says that content automatically generated with AI writing tools is considered spam, according to the Search Engines Webmaster Guidelines. He says that content written by AI falls under the category of auto-generated content, which could lead to a manual penalty. So let's get really deep diving into Google. So the first one is, can Google detect the AI generated content? But also there's so much more we want to talk about with regards to Google. So before we talk about the issues of ChatGPT generated content on your website, etc., let's talk about those that are comparing ChatGPT to Google, because there are a lot of people saying that Google is going to be pushed off its perch by ChatGPT. But that to me is really odd, because these two platforms are there for two very different purposes. So, for example, ChatGPT gives you content that you ask for that it will give to many others who ask for that exact same content. On the other hand, a Google search gives users comprehensive and up-to-date results, which makes it way more suitable for certain types of searches. So ChatGPT isn't a traditional search engine, but it is a large language model. So it doesn't have access to the same breadth and depth of information as other search engines like Google, for example. So that means that it can't provide as comprehensive or up-to-date results, and it may not be as effective for certain types of searches because it's only been trained on data till September 2021. So what happened to 2022 and the beginning of 2023? Whereas when you Google something, you're going to get the very latest if there's something out there on it. But remember, whatever you're receiving from ChatGPT at the moment, it's only been being trained up until September 21. So if you're writing about something super, super topical, be very, very careful about that. It will change. I know it for sure. As more and more chat stuff comes out, it will be, getting a whole lot better at getting up to date and up to the minute stuff. But for now, it is not being able to do that. So also, you may not know that Google has released its very own version of ChatGPT, and it's called Apprentice Bard AI. So it's currently only released to a limited number of people because it's in its beta testing phase, but it will be very, very interesting to see what it's like, because remember I said that you will be penalized for putting on your website content that has been created by ChatGPT, for example, because of the bots that is checking it out for what's going on with AI generated content. So I'm really intrigued to see what is that going to mean for Google's one. So are they going to have bots that detect only other stuff, just not Google Bard, Apprentice Bard? It's going to be really, really interesting, isn't it, as how that all comes out. So the interesting thing is that for me, I think, is that nothing has been bigger than what happened when ChatGPT was rolled out. So for example, it is growing beyond anything else. In the first month of its launch, ChatGPT had more than 57 monthly users. So you'd be able to use it to answer trivia questions or explain ideas, generate everything from poetry to assignments, assessments, blogs, you name it, you could do it. ChatGPT crossed the 100 million users milestone in January 2023. And since then, it has just still been growing at a rapid, rapid rate. So it's been said that Apprentice Bard's ability to incorporate recent events into its responses are what is going to make it stand out more from ChatGPT, so it's more relevant. And of course it can, because it's Google, so therefore it is related to the whole Google search feature and function. So that will be massively interesting to see. So can Google detect AI-generated content? Yes, it can. And will you be penalized for it? Yes, you will. So Google can detect if a particular piece of writing is AI or ChatGPT generated by searching for patterns and inconsistencies in that style and writing of the quality of the writing. So as I said earlier, John Mueller said that content is considered spam, which can lead to penalties. So let's have a little look at what he has said. My suspicion is maybe the quality of content is a little bit better than the really old school tools, but for us, it's still automatically generated content. And that means for us, it's still against the webmaster guidelines. So we would consider that to be spam. We absolutely have to be so careful about what we're putting onto our websites. We all know it's hard to get to that page one in a search when people are looking for you. There's lots and lots and lots of things that will, of course, help you get there. And we're going to have a look at those in a moment. But why would you, if you're working so hard to make amazing content and get your website ranking really, really well, why would you wreck that by using ChatGPT, for example, and get that content in the wrong, being detected and being penalized? That would really not be good at all. So let's take a look at some little tips on how you can avoid that. So number one is you can work on your SEO. Use keywords that are performing well, but don't keyword stuff. So one of the things that I think is an amazing tool that you can use is a tool called Answer the Public. And that will really help you search for different keywords or topics that your ideal customers are already searching for. So then you know what you want to put out there so that people can find you in those same searches. You can also use YouTube. Remember that YouTube is a really powerful search engine. And of course, you can continue using Google. It's still the best source of keywords since most people are using it pretty much every single day. So those are Answer the Public, YouTube, and Google to help you find those keywords. So here we go. This is what Answer the Public looks like. You're going to type it in, a little topic. You can choose your country, choose your language, and search. And so in this example, we've typed in digital marketing as words that we're looking for. And then it's going to give me a whole lot of content that I can then use for topics for blog posts, for example, topics for content for my social media posts. It can give me keywords that I'm going to work on and weave through my content for my website. So there's a lot of different ways that you can see that it's doing it. It's coming up with where, which, what, why, which digital marketing courses in demand, for example, or what is a digital marketing manager. There's like every different kind of topic using the words digital marketing in there that I could ever hope for. So definitely worth having a look at Answer the Public. It's quite extraordinary if you want to figure out, for example, what if I want to work out my blog post strategy? This is my blog post for the year. What topic should I be going for? So it's a really amazing way to find incredible content for that. And then the reason I always talk about blog posts first is because then from the blog post, that's when we're then going to go and make that social media content. So how I work it out in my business for my strategy is I plan my blog posts. Of course, there's always going to be extra ones because things will be topical, for example. Like we just did a new blog post on chatbots last week, which was not in the strategy for the year's worth of blog posts. So, and obviously, we're also going to be refreshing some of our blog posts as we go along too. So old ones that just need a little facelift and come back again into the forefront. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out what are my blog posts for the year, and then I'm going to plan those out, and then I'm going to think about what content I'm going to get out of those. So that's a really good way for you guys to think about generating content that you can use over and over. Because again, when I said to you at the very beginning of today, what's your biggest challenge in your business? So many people say, oh, it's time or it's coming up with content, etc. So this way, when you have one piece of content that you start with, which is your blog post, out of that, you can get 10 to 20 different social media posts to use over the next few months. You can then also use that as snippets in your newsletters and stuff too. So start with that blog and then move from there. But it's a really great way to get a lot of content. So anyway, that was Answer the Public. So that's a really good one to look for. The next one that you want to have a little play around with is YouTube. So if you want to look for topics and keywords that your potential customers are already searching for, all you need to do is jump into YouTube and go into the search bar and type it in. And you'll notice I just typed in digital marketing, but here I've got digital marketing video. That's way high up there. So clearly people are wanting to know how to make video. Digital marketing course, digital marketing tutorial for beginners. There's a lot in here about courses, as you can see. Digital marketing 2023, interview questions, beginners, strategy. So it's telling me a lot of ideas for what I might want to do posts about and what I might want to do blogs about, for example, or what I might want to use as workshop topics. So YouTube is a really, really good way. And as I mentioned before, make sure that you're using it as a search engine, because more so than you're thinking about it as a social media platform. And then the third one, of course, is Google. So into Google, we've typed in, what is ChatGPT? We can obviously see here what the first thing is that came up. But after that, always go and check out this little bit here that says people also asked. So for example, what is ChatGPT being used for? Is it free? Who's the founder? Is it owned by Elon Musk? And then scroll all the way down to the bottom and find the related searches. So how to use it? Is it free? Blah, 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 blah. So all of this is going to give me great ideas for what I might want to be writing about. So it's a good one. So always remember, if you're looking for topics and key topics to write about for your socials, for your blogs, etc., or you're looking for keywords to weave through your content, remember Google, and remember YouTube, and remember Answer the Public. Then once you've got those keywords, then you might want to go and jump into ChatGPT and start writing something with it. So you might say have 5 research keywords. Then you could go and jump into ChatGPT and say, prepare a blog post using these 3 keywords, or prepare some captions for some Instagram posts using these 3 keywords. So remember, the more specific that you can get, and because you're asking for it with your own research keywords, that's going to give you much more personalized content than you're going to get if you just said, prepare a blog post on this topic. So definitely keep that one in mind. So another top tip is write quality content over quantity. So make sure that you're producing really well-researched content that provides value. So if you're suffering with some writer's block, you can always repurpose your evergreen content and refresh your old blog posts and see the magic. So we have one particular blog post that I think it's at least 5 years old now. And about every 4 to 5 months, we just bring it back, refresh it, redate it, put some new graphics in it, and it just keeps performing. It is our highest performing blog post and has been for years and years and years. So why would we write it again and write a whole new one when we have this one that keeps performing over and over and over? So go and take a little look at the analytics in the back end of your site, or go and take a little look at Google Analytics, and keep in mind what we talked about at the beginning with GA4, so Google Analytics 4, which you absolutely have to do for your website. It's a must. Keep that in mind, that you want to have a look at what are your blog posts that are bringing the traffic to your site now, because I bet you it'll surprise you. There'll be one that will shine so much brighter than all the other ones, and that's the one that you need to remember to just keep repurposing it and keep refreshing it. Another top tip is focusing on customer experience. So brands and businesses are losing $29, that's Australian, for every customer that they acquire due to money being spent on ads, etc. So if you can start thinking about collaboration and a focus on customer experience, that's way more important now than it has ever been before. So instead of looking always for new customers and clients, work on building that brand loyalty, that amazing community that you can do through Facebook groups, etc., and also retaining those customers that you've already got. Obtain high quality backlinks from reputable and trusted sources. So this one really helps show search engines that your website or your content is valuable and trustworthy. So there's lots of different ways that you can get really good high quality backlinks. So one of them is replicate your competitors' best backlinks. Analyze your competitors' mentions, for example, build backlinks with really good infographics, and also use your infographics on Pinterest. You can do some guest blogging. You can ask to have some guest bloggers on yours as well. And you can build a solid internal linking structure. So what that means is that when you've got a product, for example, and you might then want to link to a blog post where you talked about that product, or maybe you've written a blog post and you want to link through to a product. That's all internally within your website. You also want to outreach and promote your best content everywhere. So when you have created a blog, in fact, we just did this with a client the other day. He wrote this amazing blog. He's then creating this fabulous video and wave about that blog post. And then that will then go onto YouTube. It will be embedded into that blog post. And then there's heaps of different social media posts made from that one blog post. And of course, he's sending it out in a newsletter as well. So lots of different ways to get your blog out there everywhere. So promote your best content, all the different places that you can. Also, you want to be doing things like giving interviews and stuff, because then, of course, they will be linking to your website and to your socials, etc. So one thing that we want to really think about is those backlinks from really reputable sources. And so therefore, keep in mind the Positive Passionate Businesswoman member directory. So it's new. It is, well, it was towards the end of last year that we launched it. We have the Grow Level 1 membership, which at the moment, and just for a very short time, is free to anyone. Anyone that is a woman in business or is 50% owned woman in business. So to anybody that wants that, we're giving that away free. You might have a friend that you think could really benefit from being there. But we're giving away a free Bloom membership for someone that would like to go to the next level. And if you're already a Bloom, then you could actually have yours gone up to Flourish. So let me know with an emoji in the chat if you would like to find out more about this. If you'd like to get to the Grow Level 1 first, get that one free. If you'd like to get up to Bloom, or if you'd like to get up to Flourish, and somebody will win that today. Okay, one last thing of a top tip before we move on to some really exciting new ideas of using ChatGPT, and that is to improve your website's loading time. So anything longer than 3 seconds load time can lead to a high bounce rate off your website. I'm regularly asked by people, what do you think about videos on the homepage? You know, because you can do some amazing websites where in that top hero section is just some beautiful video showing, but that can really, really slow it down. So think about who your audience is, where they're based, and yeah, it very much depends on who your audience is what kind of amazing things that you will offer on that homepage. Also, make sure that your website's optimized to improve the load time. Rename your images, add the alt text, remove unnecessary images that you're not using anymore, check for 404 links, which are those broken links, and compress and optimize your images. And we use Tiny PNG, which is free, and it is amazing to be optimizing those images. And remember to cache your web pages, etc. So let's now get stuck into topic number 4, how to use ChatGPT for your Google business profile. So let me know in the chat who has a Google business profile set up. I'm hoping it'll be everybody. And I'm hoping that if you don't, it'll be because you're still waiting for your postcard to arrive. But hopefully you all have your Google business profile set up. I guess the next question is, though, I'm really happy to be seeing the yes, 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 yes. The next question is, are you posting to your Google business profile? Because you could be using it, or should be using it, like a social media platform where you post once a month, once a week, so every 7 days, because the post lasts for 7 days. So do it every 7 days. One of your Instagram or one of your Facebook posts, go there and put it onto your Google business profile. But let's have a little look at how you could use ChatGPT, for example, to respond to a review professionally, which will really help you get some great traffic. So we talked a little bit before about looking for keywords and things. So keywords are everything. So think about this. I'm going to my website, and I'm going to Google, and I'm typing in because I'm looking for something. So let's say that I'm looking at to rejuvenate, improve the look of my face without surgery. So Vanamala is clearly hoping that her website is going to be showing up when I'm searching for that. So of course, there's so many different things that she can do for her website and her business in general to get found, be the one that's found when I'm doing that search. One of those things, though, is having reviews on your Google business profile. So the first thing is, are you actually asking for reviews? That's a really, really, really important thing, not just for Facebook reviews, but definitely for your Google business profile reviews. One thing you can do is jump into your Google business profile, and it will give you a link, and even you can turn that into a QR code so people can scan it to leave you a review. But what happens then once you've got that review? You want it to make sure that it's helping your business be found in search results. So check this one out, because you can then use ChatGPT to respond to a Google business profile review professionally, but one in a way that you're going to be able to be found. So we've said here to ChatGPT, keyword ideas for a local digital marketing company. And it comes back with, here are some keyword ideas for a local digital marketing company. So local SEO, for example, social media marketing, Google Ads management, content marketing, the list goes on and on and on. So then we ask for ChatGPT to answer a Google business review professionally using some of the above keywords. Sure, here's an example response to a Google business review that incorporates some of the above keywords. Now, have a think about, when I'm reading this out, what are those keywords that it's putting in there? So, dear Vanamala, for example, thanks for taking the time to leave us a review. We're glad to hear that you had a positive experience with our digital marketing services. At Hello Media, we pride ourselves on delivering high-quality solutions that drive results for our clients. We appreciate your mention of our local SEO and social media marketing services. Our team works hard to stay up to date with the latest industry trends and best practices to ensure that we are providing effective strategies for our clients. Additionally, we're thrilled that you found our website design and development services to be of high quality. Creating visually appealing and user-friendly websites is a key component of our digital marketing services, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you can see that there are keywords put in there that we really want, that when people are searching, it's not going to be just because they're on our website, but it's because they're also in our responses to the Google reviews. Now, first thing is, though, I wouldn't recommend you relying wholly on ChatGPT for getting you keywords, because as I already mentioned earlier, it's only been used content that it's been generated from since September, up until September 2021. So you definitely want to do your keyword research in one of those other 3 ways that I said about earlier. But if you then put those keywords into here, and then you can also put in the review that the person left for you and said, so for example, on mine, I wouldn't want this to be such a formal review. I would say, can you write a thankful yet light-hearted response to this review? And please, can you use these 5 keywords, for example? So make sure that you're telling it always the tone that you want to be using. Because as you can see, this one here is definitely not the tone of my business. It's a very, very formal one. So I need to know that I'm saying to it that I'm getting the content that I want back in a more friendlier way. So first, you want to search for your keywords relevant to the brand, products, or services, etc., that you have. You can do those using, as we said, Answer the Public, YouTube, or Google, of course. And obviously, you can see that you can do that in ChatGPT as well. Then you want to read through those answers that ChatGPT has given you and make sure that they make sense. So, for example, ask it keyword ideas for a local butcher, for example. Second, ask it to answer a Google business review for you professionally using the keywords that it generated. Ask it answer a Google business review professionally using the above keywords. And then personalize the response and add your personal touch. Make sure that you never just copy and paste everything, because remember that you will be penalized for it. But as I said, let's wait and see what Google Bard AI comes out with, because that will be really interesting to see how that's changed. So you can then also use it for the next thing, which is use ChatGPT to get photo ideas to post to your Google business profile. So the question has been asked, using the keywords above, what photos could I add to my Google business profile? And then it comes back with, here are some photo ideas that you could add to your Google business profile to showcase your digital marketing content company. For example, photos of your team working together in the office or collaborating on a project, or photos of happy clients or customer testimonials that highlight the success of your services. So for example, let's think of Sue with Stewart's Menswear. She could jump into here and she could say, using my keywords, and she could either have asked ChatGPT for some, or she could have put hers in, and she's going to say, using those keywords, what photos should I be putting into my Google business profile And it will be very interesting to see what it will come back with. It also says down here, including a variety of these types of photos on your Google business profile can help potential clients get a better sense of your company's services and values and encourage them to choose you for their digital marketing needs. Well, obviously, in Sue's, that would be for their clothing and accessories, et cetera, needs. Janine says, I wonder if Google will penalize you. Oh, yes, for using bar directly. I know. It's going to be very, very interesting how that happens. So things to think about is, number one, use ChatGPT effectively. If you're copying and pasting from ChatGPT, you need to stop that now. So it's a good source for ideas generation. That does not mean that you can copy everything without adding your personal take on the topic. Google will penalize you for plagiarism, but also as it's looking at it as spam. AI-generated content, including ChatGPT, is sourced from different people across the internet. This means that there are already some people who have used the exact text that you've got from ChatGPT and posted it on the internet. So it's fed with data in order to give the answers to your questions. And the last time it was trained, remember, for this data was in September 2021. We have to be so careful about how we use that. Make sure that you always personalize that content that you're putting out there. So think of ChatGPT as your guide, as your ideas generator, for example, and it's not perfect. So you have to really add your personal flair. One thing that I've been really enjoy doing with ChatGPT is coming up with taglines or slogans. So, for example, if you type in that you're looking for ideas for, let's just say, I want to have 10 different ideas for taglines for a florist business with a humorous vibe, for example, you can literally type that in and it will come back with some really fun things that you can work with. Remember, if you don't want it to come back with something that's really, really corporate-y, then you need to put in there what it is exactly that you what the type of tone you want it to have. And then it'll come back with 10, and then you can look at those and go, they're pretty fun. Well, a couple of them will work for me. Then you want to reword those ones that you found. You don't want to just use them as they are and then go and publish those. But it's such a great way to get your creative juices flowing by just seeing what it's going to come up with. And it's going to give you just some new ideas, which is a really great thing. We all, need new ideas sometimes. So dream big and make a strategy, work hard and stand out from the crowd. So let's now spin our wheel. That was to win a one-on-one with me. And I'm going to see, excuse me, if Chris has sent me a screenshot of, oh no, she's just saying, sorry, that she missed at the beginning. Who were the people that wanted to win the one-on-one with me? So if you just put the emoji into the chat now, we can work on anything that you want to. She's got most of the names there, but we can literally do anything from, we can look at your SEO, we can look at your keywords, we can look at how you're weaving the keywords through your content. We can look at your social media, we can do an audit, we could create you a video, we can do all kinds of different things, whatever you want to in that hour, one-on-one with me. So, let's do a little bit of spinning. Oh, and the winner to update from Bloom. So Sophia already has a Bloom membership. So Sophia has won to go to the Flourish membership. So that's for 12 months, Sophia. Congratulations to you. Marie says, love, love, love to no emojis. Marie, it's a new little feature on Zoom. Have a little look down at the very bottom where you go to type your message. And hopefully, if you click a little emoji there, you can go, there you go. I'm just sending one right now. See if you can do it, Marie. It's a little bit of a fun new feature. Yay, indeed, Sophia. Congratulations to you. Yay, Marie, you did it. That's new. It's a very exciting new little thing there. There's a few little options there, like attaching stuff and all kinds of things, which is pretty cool. I now have a screenshot from Chris, thank you very much, of our spin the wheel, and it's Annabella with Annabella I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly. I hope I am. Annabella Ramos Florals. Congratulations to you. We will send you the details and the link, and then you can book your session with me whenever you're ready. So let's get stuck into a little bit more about this though, but just in case, before we do that though, here's a little offer. That is that you're invited, if you would like to take part in Action Takers small group coaching. It's our bronze program, and we have overhauled it this year. So it's not just group coaching that you get, it's 3 sessions out of every a month as the group coaching, but also you get 3 one-on-ones with me to be used within a 6-month period, and 18 lots of group sessions. And of course, there's workbooks, resources, templates, all that kind of stuff, plus the private messenger support group. There's all kinds of things that go on in that. We have a different topic every week that we're working on. And it's $4.97, but it is $3.97. I'm not sure what happened to my little thingy that said, oh, it's underneath there. There you go. $3.97 while we're running this now. But there's a link that you'd have to click through to. So, yeah. If you want to get in on that, let's discuss who it's for, though. Is for if you're overwhelmed by digital marketing and ready to make some changes, if you're ready to get stuck into creating a strategy for growth, and if you know it's time to step up, take action, and transform your social media, email marketing, website findability and performance, and of course, so much more. And it's not for you if you don't want to grow your business and you don't want to get visible online in your digital marketing efforts, and if it's not the right time to invest in yourself and you're not ready to take action. So if you do want to get involved in that, we will. You're very, very welcome, Annabella. We will share a link and you can get stuck into that. Now, one more thing to tell you before we go and look at our next little bit is the masterclasses. So we have this Wednesday, SEO and traffic. We're only giving 2 spots to every masterclass because our masterclasses are for our silver and our gold coaching programs. But we're opening up 2 spots for every masterclass with someone else that would want to attend. So this Wednesday, it's SEO and traffic. Then we've got website conversion, sales funnel, video marketing, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn, Facebook, lead magnet, email marketing, and ad strategies. That takes us through to the end of June. Then, of course, we have our next 6 months worth. So if any of those look like something you want to do, you can jump onto our website and you can buy 1, or if you buy 2, you pay for 2 and you get 3 of them. So anyway, that's a full day masterclass. They're always on a Wednesday, and those are the dates in there. But let's jump through to talk a little bit more about AI, and then I'm going to share my screen and open it up to some questions and answers, and we're going to go and look at a few examples and ways that we can be using it. Okay, so ChatGPT was trained on massive amounts of data about code and information from the internet until only September 2021. That's really, really important to keep that in mind. Google released its very own ChatGPT rival called Apprentice Bard AI. It's just in the beta testing phase, so we still need to see when it rolls out to all the rest of us to be able to use it, how different it's going to be compared to what ChatGPT is going to be doing. And the fact that Google is attached to, well, Google Bard, Apprentice Bard, will be attached to what's going on in search for Google. So I really think it's going to be an absolute game changer like nothing we have seen before. ChatGPT is not a Google killer, and search is not going anywhere. I don't know why people keep saying that it's going to be taking over from Google searches. It 100% is not, because chatbots are completely different, or content generators by bot is completely different to doing a Google search. And ChatGPT is a great tool that still needs human intervention, and Google can detect AI-generated content and it will penalize you for using it, just as it is. So remember, use it as a generator for ideas. Don't use it as just the content that you've found that you're just going to go and copy paste and put it on. That's a really important one. So can you guys, before I share my screen, just so I can stop this presentation and we'll go into the next stage. Can you guys just jump into the chat and let me know, what was your aha moment from today? What was the bit where you went, oh my goodness, I think I'm going to really be able to use that? Or something that you learned today that just made you go, whoa, I get it. So let me know in the chat if there was something today that just got you a little bit excited to try something for yourself, perhaps using this platform. Incorporating keywords into the question criteria. Yes, so absolutely, it's a good one. I know I'm gonna do some examples with that exact thing now, and sharing my other screen. So it is time. Hey, Marie, I felt the same way about that. Wow, I can do emojis on Zoom. Yay. Joe says keywords and tone. The tone one is super important, Joe, and particularly around that content for socials, etc. Vanalmala says to use ChatGPT for ideas. Yes, indeed. Samita, I know that ChatGPT that can translate. That's awesome, isn't it? I think that's really fantastic. Annabella says it's such a powerful tool and mind-blowing. I know. I know. So thank you for sharing. Show the world your true, authentic self. It's definitely time for you guys to start sharing more. So let me stop my screen share now, and I'm going to stop the recording, and we're going to go into some Q&As, etc. So let me go stop that one, open up that one, and stop the recording.